Hello and thank you for watching. I'm Ashley Van Dyke with Advantage Software, and on today's video, IP captioning with AccuCap. I'm going to show you how simple and easy it is to output to an IP encoder using AccuCap. In order to do this, all you need is the captioning software from Eclipse, the IP address that you need to connect to, as well as the port number, and, if applicable, the username and password for the IP encoder. The IP address, port number, username, and password should all be provided to you by the client that is asking you to provide caption for their event. To get started with IP captioning, I first need to add an output format. I'm going to go to my user settings, to the real-time tab, and right now I don't already have any output formats. So I'm going to click Add. And for IP captioning, for the output format, I am going to choose closed captioning. And for the COM device, I'm going to choose TCP IP direct. In order to tell Eclipse which IP address I'm going to communicate with, I'm going to hit the setup button. And it's first going to ask me for the internet address. You should receive this information from your client that's asking you to provide captions. And this is the IP address to their encoder. So this is the IP address to ASI's encoder. Our port number is 23, and right now our username and password are both 0. I'm going to set my captions to come up at the top of the screen instead of the bottom. Just for this example, this is not necessary for IP captioning, I'm just doing this to accommodate the screen that we're using. So I'm going to press OK, and then OK. I'm going to start a real-time file to demonstrate how the IP captions go over. So I'm going to go to Translate Notes, and I'm going to choose Virtual Real-Time so that I don't have to write for this. I'm going to translate an existing note file as if it were real-time. I'll hit the Notes button and select my caption sample file. And you see here that my output format is listed as closed captioning, port 23, and the IP address. It also tells me the information for my steno machine, and I have Enable Output checked. If Enable Output isn't checked, your real-time will not start going over to the encoder until you enable it manually. It's a good idea to have this checked in most circumstances. And I can press OK to start the virtual real-time. I'm going to choose Retranslate since I want to resend this information from the job. And you see that my closed caption preview window has opened up. And it tells me that I'm in block mode, my captions are roll up, and the location that they're going to start. So again, I changed my starting row to line 3, so that's where they're going to begin. And it says encoder responding, so I know that the encoder is ready to receive my text. And I can tab over to our encoder and see that it's ready to receive text as well. I can push through a few lines of text. And you see that if we tab over to the encoder screen, we see the text that I have sent. And so I can keep pushing text over. And you see that that text comes over directly to the encoder screen. Obviously, when you're doing this, for a real job, there would also be images on the screen instead of just a blank green screen. However, for our purposes, since we aren't a real television station, our encoder just projects to a blank screen with no other images on it. And once you begin your real-time job with your IP settings enabled, that's all you need to do in order to connect to an IP encoder. As long as your client can provide you the IP address, port number, and username and password if security is enabled on the IP encoder, then you'll be able to connect to it and caption any event that they need you for. The only thing that's required is Eclipse AccuCap and an internet connection. There's no additional software required, and outside of setting up the output format in your user settings, there's no special setup that's required either. It's as simple as just making an output format. And like with other captioning settings, if you want to make a new user for your IP captioning purposes, you can always go to your user settings and hit Save Settings and create an IP captioning user or a new user for whatever client you're working for. You can have as many users as you need to. Thank you so much for watching this video. As a reminder, Advantage Software offers anytime support 24/7. If you have questions about IP captioning, or any of Eclipse AccuCap's other great features, or Advantage Software's other amazing products, please don't hesitate to contact us anytime. Support can be reached at 772-288-3266. Email support is also available at support@eclipsecat.com. Thanks for watching this video. Please hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you'll be notified when we publish new content in the future. Thanks so much and have a great day!